making history at the ECAC. And there it is! Both plays ones online, and Dip will take it home.
What a game.
Take a victory lap, take a bow, and take the headsets off and start to yell.
Cycling through, back to Blizzaga. Oh, pulled the counter twice out, but not gonna find it, and run off Shadow Ball will do the tricks at 0. Is all of a sudden up to 78%, make it 90. Another roller doesn't find the mark this time, but a dash attack and forward tilt will only find shield.
Ooh, and now that might just be game. No strong hit, but pop him off the top with the sneakers.
Luddite very aware, I think, of what X-Wing wants to do. Is that's going to be no tech in that situation, and that means that stock is gone. Great, another string of back airs, and that one will be shut down. They will be able to get back to the ledge, but that's going to be another mistake. The jump, the up B, and it's not enough. Rinse, repeat from the second.
It looks like we have, was it overkill, a disconnect? Whatever's happening here. Han Solo Burger is just tearing right through them. 3 kill, oh my goodness. They still have so much left to work through. A nice weapon upgrade here. Raze is gonna throw it right back into their face. Look how far Kira's pushed up. Oh, they'd be able to, whoa. Joe! This is just what we needed to see from Brooklyn.
But I was going to say, Handy Crackers in the offensive attack, he had such a good size up on that one, but got denied by the defensive Merrimack.
I mean, this is a player that's been peak at 2,200.
You know, someone keeps on stealing it, just doing hot laps at this point in time. But regardless of the fact, 15 seconds left here in game number 2. Breakaway chance right here for Bagels. He's going to put this one in.
Hammy Cracker's going up high in the sky, gets the flip reset. Looks like a musty there from the sky. Losan going for a double. This is their GC1. Looked like he had a triple tap.
So much more aggressive on the offensive end. When you have an offensive push like that, you cannot afford to just leave somebody just wide open.
Oh
2 back-to-back misses.
On their feet, sound barrier in play. They want to push on up. But this is just the moment that Kane was waiting for. More specifically, Leon, that's the Rampage, or excuse me, that's the Annihilation. Nobody in the way to stop this one. That's both supports and still hunting for more. Pushing toward the spawns, couple of meters. Ohio Northern scrambling out to get a last-second touch. I'm sure this is a nice, clean fight that they have the potential of winning. That's 1, 2, 3 ultimates. Now popped on in. Wonderful Suzu keeping Loath alive. And Ohio Northern managed to wipe Kane once again. This thrown on out, last-ditch effort. These must land into somebody to hit both supports. Though when we thought Ohio Northern, they're not done digging, they have struck gold. That is both supports out of the picture. Millions returning on their signature Doomfist. It's another brawl towards the end. At the end of the day, though, Ohio Northern, their spawns are closer, and they have managed to push them off of the pale jack. We are not done just yet. Ohio Northern are pushing the series to a map 5. This very well could be the last fight to stop this momentum that has been pushing them back. We want to drown the hopes of Ohio Northern here and now to shut it all down. The Matrix, one last attempt from Odie to put the momentum on Adapter, yet it is not enough. We saw the signs of hope. Ohio Northern.
They try and play on the dark cover and the drone as well, but with the paranoia in the face and the location reveal, that's easy pickings for Super Z, and they are acting as the duelist for the team this round, clearing out every angle here and even addressing into heaven to add kind of tiles aggression from the Chamber and the Reyna. Maybe they'll be able to divide their forces more evenly. Every player here getting their frag except Derp, who's able to strike back on the Buttershy line. But that is over. Max left in the 1v4.
Really is. Now concurrent into 3 flashes blown and both summoner spells taken down, or they're going to face each other again.
Wow, Jerry X went in really valuing that early CS count and that early stack. Gets first blooded, but on the other side, 1 against 3. Amadir Shi is able to get onto T1 Faker. And now the TP, here comes Rocks right. Stolen! Oh my goodness, he swiped it. Yarbrough on a one-way trip, but it's going to delay the inevitable here as he grabs the Behrend. But on the other side, Rocks right does go down. An ill-fated TP leads to a double kill, make that a triple. So that means that it's time to fight. Or at least that's what Fanshawe would have wanted. Flashes over into the queue. Yarbrough's in some trouble. Gets the stun down. Gets some damage down as well.
Wait, flash
goes over the wall.
forward.
There's no way they get this. More flashes. First blood. Second blood.
There's so much of that raw damage that the Belfast needs on the items to scale. Winter misses it, and there's going to be targeted by the turret. No, 4x4. It might be 2 kills. 1 last auto. Oh.
They wasted no time, no spacing, no feeling each other out. They said, all right, all buttons go, let's move. And it's just been like that from the moment it started in spring. Nova Star, come on.
Trying to stabilize, but once again, getting a hit out of all their aerials. It feels like all
Shut
of
up.
Sonic's moves
Shut
are
up.
unnecessary destroying. Nova Star sweeps through St. Rose.
Oh my god!
Oh no, opportunity strikes! He's going down! C4 recovery! They need to get back up! Oh, and Zick is they're throwing out attacks, but not at Grunk, which I feel like is the play.
Oh my god, the spring!
As they kind of took a little hop with that owl drone, but no, it's just been running, skipping, jumping, and Kelly, well, they're gonna catch one of the dome. They don't get cleared. And in fact, Anderson is able to find a couple. Avo!
Oof, that's 2 ults just down the drain. What a shot, Anderson, okay! Once again, the spike is already down, and this might be the very first time AU is gonna take a round for Anderson. All he needs to do is get a couple of frags. 2,
as Chongyun is gonna throw it in.
Chongyun throws it in right away, and is it going to find anything? It does. It finds a frozen Lucio for right now, and it finds another frozen Baptiste. The Blizzard, huge for Chongyun. Just throws it right on in. 4 members dead because of it. Going ahead and swirling them all the way around. Terra Surge is going to come out, at least stop Terra Surge for right now, but it's just going to be melted away. Rice Fizz does absolutely nothing with it. There's going to be the Terra Surge. Cammy will get 1. The artillery strike will combo up with that for 2 of their own, trying to get in on the side of it, and now you lose the Baptiste at the same time. It's going to be a scrap fight left and right. However, if you're thinking that it's Staten Island's favor, it is absolutely, with just the Lucio left to go. Bioactive is able to wipe away 4-0 here for the Blue Hens at the very least. Staten Island coming up with 4 on their own. They're going to pull out the Terra Surge. They're going to pull out the Blizzard. This is going to pull in everybody, and this spells trouble. Blizzard, Terra Surge.
Coming out of the tube. 2 players to hookah. Porked on the Wiser. Tries to TP away. TP's further into trouble for this squad, who is going all holds barred so quickly towards this site.
And they continue. Yeah, no.
And they have Spike.
He sees it. He sees it. He's got his clam and down. That's it.
Good timing here on Rafter. They both line up. Anchor will find everything.
That was off for Wizard. But with the nade this time, there's walking in.
Oh.
Spraying, no shot. Yeah, remember, that's the overheat. Remember that we were talking about before. No shot, he pushed it in the side. Oh, he saw the ponytail. Dude. He's slow.
Just more reliable. You negate the damage, and that's just how it goes. I like it.
Yeah, it's almost a faux pas to take exhaust on Caitlyn because you should never be that close. And
yeah, for sure.
Phil may find himself in trouble, but Weirderum as well has to flash away. Phil is just going under the turret. Brooklyn College not looking like they're all on the same page. Phil on one side, Paranoia out. Sam, though, in a good position for a three-man shockwave. And they are going to rip apart Ohio Northern. It's a triple kill for Phil. Yeah, Phil in a little bit of trouble. Is forced to flash away, as you said. Weirderum going to try to chase him down, but Phil recognizing, hey, if you're going to dive me. Oh, he lived.
No way, the tower.
A little bit, but members are cut off over the wall. Chris the Sad Mummy going down, but Cherry is left all alone and goes down. Weirderum about a Meganar, but a big double knock-up coming through. Creature's in trouble. Weirderum trying to get some space between them, but it was all Ezreal.
Making history at CECC. And there it is! Both platforms online and Dip will take it home.
What a game. Take a victory lap, take a bow, and take the headsets off and start to yell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ECAC Elite Group Series. My name is Soy. Alongside me is Lyric, and we are getting ready for some SSBU action. Our matchup tonight, Penn State Behrend versus St. Joseph's Crimson. And Lyric, this should be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. I am coming off of the South qualifiers from yesterday, where I was watching top level Smash go at it, just crazy. So I'm super excited for essentially day 2 of me casting more Smash. And we got 2 great teams. I'm ready to see more great action.
This is going to be a lot of fun. We're in Group 4 of the Elite stage of the ECAC here. This group containing a lot of schools like Dallas Baptist, Muskingum, FAU, the Florida Atlantic College, and a couple others in there, but we are going to focus on Penn State Behrend versus St. Joseph's, and this is really a battle for the top of the group. Both of these schools are undefeated thus far. Both are 4-0, and really only one set dropped between the two of them. Penn State Behrend only dropped one game. That was to Randolph-Macon College back in week 2. So both have been playing at a very solid level, but a lot of these wins have been nail-bitingly close. Nothing really more than about 4 stocks is kind of the average. So a lot of these coming down to the final player. We're expecting a close one coming into this week.
Yeah, no, I think this format in particular is very interesting because it is still that 1v1, but it's in a crew battle format. So it actually makes a lot of these decisions in who and what character you're setting up first much more important. And because you have a best of 3, there's a lot of times where you can go back to your team, say, hey, you know what, maybe we could be starting X character first, maybe putting them in the back as the anchor is always a good decision. But I do believe we will be jumping right on into game 1. And let me just say, what a way to start off another beautiful crew battle by having 2 zoners that barely approach at certain times.
We'll have to see how this one plays out off the start. Trollery for the side of Behrend, or Penn State Behrend. An experienced player. They've been here for a little while and put up some good numbers. Plasma, I believe the newer name to St. Joseph, but certainly some experience under their belt as well. Snake, I mean, often an early start here in terms of the percent, but so far Trollery, I mean, Pac-Man combos can quickly rack up percentage. It's just a matter of if they can get in, and right now it's Plasma who is not allowing them to do so. The wall is set up, but maybe Trollery goes for something here. Tried to get that grab, but unfortunately just out of reach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to this matchup in particular, both of these characters have very high combo percentages and very high combos that they can get here. But it's a matter of finding it, and both of these characters play a little bit more defensively towards each other here, but it will be Plasma getting the back throw here. And when it comes to a lot of these edge guards, Soy, you want to just lock them in and not let your opponent stack up rage, because the combo that they can get, for example, a snake down throw into an up tilt, can be catastrophic.
Be very difficult to deal with. Trollery looking for a place to land and just can't quite find a place to get those aerials, but the C4 was on him, and that's a down B, and that's going to be Trollery dropping stock number 1 of this crew battle. Can he answer back immediately? Finds an up air, gets the bell, oh, but it gets parried instead. No ability to really follow up there, and so Plasma striking first, and now it's a pretty substantial lead here. It's going to take a little bit more percentage for Trollery to really get Plasma up to a kill percent.
Yeah, and like the way that Trollery is trying to find an option, but I have to say Plasma with the parries, a lot of these grenade tosses are really, really well positioned, where Trollery is not only just taking 1 hit, but they're taking about 2 to 3 every single time one goes off here. And I like the way that we're getting the reverse drops onto the grenades as well, but it literally allows for Plasma to not approach and doesn't need to, and instead is just approaching for fun at this point.
And Plasma as well. Oh, actually, that's a good snipe there by Trollery, catching Plasma jumping there. So that's going to be Plasma's first stock off the board. Trollery able to answer back. Tries to get the combo from the ledge, but just too many projectiles. The grenades are everywhere. It's thrown about on this field, and Trollery cannot get the combos going. They read the roll in as well, and the up tilt will kill. And now it's nearly a full stock advantage as Plasma only at 32% here. Key in pocket, but can they find something to get this back to even?
Yeah, no, if I'm Trollery at this point, I need to play it a little bit more aggressively. Going back into the left side corner, going in and charging up your bonus route is fine, but we need to stop allowing for Snake to set up all of these grenades. A lot of the times it seems like Plasma definitely has a lot of these kind of combos figured out at this point, so it's up to Trollery to get the hard read. Like there, it should have been a forward smash, could have instead of a tilt here, but once more, Plasma just very comfortable on the right side of the stage.
Ooh, actually the Hydrant getting, or at least fighting through the grenades there, actually slowed it down to get that hit on the Plasma, but still 130 here, so one strong hit could do the trick, but like we've said, finding it is going to be the challenge. They weave their way around this platform, go to the opposite side of the stage. They can't use these quick projectiles. The grenades will beat them out. 32% on Trollery. They don't want to take too much more to give themselves a good chance at this last stock of Plasma if they're able to find it. But not a lot of space to work with. The Hydrant, again, clipping just underneath that platform, but Plasma's able to survive. He's able to make his way back to center stage as well. The Hydrant connects once more. Still not enough. 160 onto the Snake now. The Hydrant will miss this time. Trollery looking for a back air, able to air dodge around the C4, but still hunting, searching for that one strong hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at this point, if we're Plasma, the goal is to hold on to the stock for dear life, because having a 2-stock advantage going into the next player would be massive here. Unfortunately, though, Grenade Explosion is going to send Plasma up high into the sky, as Trollery, once again, not playing too aggressive in the chase here, just trying to figure out a way to find a opening, an advantage, an option in, but still, Plasma very much set up, playing super well around the Hydrant.
Big shield on a lot of the grenades, and they're gonna catch Plasma on the platform. They've been staying there for a while, and eventually the key will do the trick. Trollery, wanted the grab afterward, could not find it. They'll get punished with the back throw. Now 60% onto this Pac-Man, make it 71. They're looking for another opening here. They find a nair into a forward air. They catch the jump as well. Oh, but they tried to scout the ledge with the forward smash. Doesn't land that time around, but all of a sudden, things are starting to get scary, but it is still Trollery working from disadvantage.
It's about 7 up smashes I just saw, so that's a lot to be throwing out there, but still Trollery trying to find an option, might be able to there as the down smash from Plasma misses here. And now it's all about Trollery. How do you find a way back? But look at Plasma now playing a little bit more aggressive here. We're going to throw out an up smash, a couple more, hoping that the roll is in, but instead, no, it's going to be Trollery reading the roll behind with the forward smash, potentially going up for the final KO, but great landing by Plasma, still going to put Trollery in disadvantage here, at least for the moment, as now Plasma gets to get set up once more here on the ledge. There's the bell. It doesn't actually lead into anything, though, and now whoever is going to be in the lead is up to anyone's game.
Both well into the red now, and with that little bit of rage, you feel like the next strong hit could do it, but it is all about positioning and defense from here on out. 148 to 118. Trollery's got control of center stage, but these projectiles are just not finding the mark. Hydrant placed once more, and Plasma will have to find a way to deal with it. Grenade goes over top, but the key fought through and nearly took Plasma's stock because of it. The bell won't connect either. Parry on that projectile was key from Plasma. Trollery now bouncing around center stage. They'll be able to charge up that fruit once more. They've got the bell online at the moment. Key back in hand. Maybe a chance here. They find the Hydrant once more, but again, back to this patient game plan from Trollery. They've got to find a way to land this hit, but Plasma not making it any easier. These quick kill options like up tilt could do the trick if Trollery's not careful.
So close either way. Both players don't want to overextend here. Plasma, though, throwing himself off stage, and the Apple not going to do it just yet. Snake a little bit more heavier than some of the other cast members here. Runs away from the Melon, but doesn't run fast enough. The Melon going to fall and send Trollery up. And St. Joseph's will be the first team to lose a player, but the Melon, just the very sad trajectory of it chasing Plasma down is what is going to send St. Joseph's down one player.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a kill like that. The slowest chase you've ever seen, but it is enough to get the job done as Plasma dies off the top there. And great resilience there from Trollery, right? Plasma takes the early lead, and Trollery, the rest of the game, like you said, felt like they probably should have been a bit more aggressive at times, but it was actually the slow pace and catching Plasma just being a bit I guess caught in the cycle of just, repeatedly throwing out grenades, placing those projectiles everywhere, and being them catching them being a bit lackadaisical on the platform. That really did Plasma in that set.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to two very heavy zoning characters, the way that you play around a character that approaches you is very different than you playing around a character that doesn't necessarily approach you, right? And I do think that Plasma had the setup just a little bit more in neutral a lot of the times. The parries from both players, though, during that set was fantastic. Being able to parry Hydra, being able to parry grenades, all of that stuff really good and very, very necessary in these matchups.
The defense was on point for both. And Plasma, again, had pretty solid control through the most part, but Trollery, got to commend their ability to survive at high percents for really long periods of time. And it felt like Trollery, too, even though they weren't finding everything they were searching for example, the going for the forward smash at ledge, like looking for an air dodge, even though it wasn't landing, I do appreciate the kind of prodding and seeing that, maybe I can catch them here, maybe I can catch them being a bit lazy here or there. And even though it didn't amount to anything, it's another wrinkle to the game plan. Being able to mix things up was something to kind of look forward to, as Trollery will have one stock remaining as St. Joseph's. They now get the chance to counterpick this Pac-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. And a very interesting roster that we kind of have on both sides too. I always like to say about collegiate crew battles is it's kind of like a box of chocolates. You never know which character you're going to get. You never know what players you're going to get either, especially after what we saw yesterday. So I'm interested to see where we are going to go. If I'm fighting Pac-Man, I want to bring Pac-Man to a little bit smaller of a stage. Pokemon Stadium 2 is a great stage for a lot of our zoner characters because they have tons of space to run away, but it is a very popular stage for a reason. So we are going to be seeing Trollery get kind of that home field advantage going back onto Pokemon Stadium 2, and we'll see what St. Joseph's is going to bring to the table.
And importantly, that percent that Trollery took also gets reset back down to 0. So if it's a bigger character, they could potentially get some combos against. And that might be what they're leaning into here. Looks like St. Joseph's has selected Matt Fab as the second member of their team. And Matt Fab, a player who we've often seen bring those bigger body characters to the stage. The Donkey Kong and the King Dedede, we've seen from them the last time I believe that they were on stream. So this could be dangerous, but on the other hand, I feel like the heavyweights in this game are just built to find ways to at least take a stock off the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how exactly that this one is going to go. If I'm Trollery at this point, the defensive play is actually what's going to solidify me holding on as much as possible, right? And then you kind of go into these extra credit clauses, right? Where if you're even able to just take one stock, that is going to put the crew up ahead, but it is going to be King Dedede. Now, setting out King Dedede versus Pac-Man is certainly not my favorite decision, just because Dedede is so big and Pac-Man loves to throw projectiles and then get under you with a lot of these up airs. So I'm interested to see the juggle game that both players are going, or both players are going to be doing here, but it is going to be Matt Fab trying to get rid of this one stock from Pac-Man.
I'm also curious to see, with Gordo being such an intricate part of King Dedede's kit, which projectiles from Pac-Man could beat out Gordo in that kind of projectile game.
Okay.
As Trollery will just SD off the start, unfortunately. Maybe an unfortunate air dodge there. I was looking at how Matt Fab was dealing with the hydrant, but either way, Trollery will fall to their demise, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's a tie game.
Okay. That's how that's happened. Sometimes the professionalism just fades away because this game is very, very goofy when you think about it. So Trollery, no interest in playing that matchup, or it could have been the wind box from the Gordo, it could have been the water, just sending Trollery at the weird angle, but nevertheless, we were all trolled in that moment as we thought we were going to have a much longer game than we actually did.
And because of that, now we get a tie game here. St. Joseph's, Matt Fab locked in on the King Dedede for the remainder of this crew battle. It's a best of 3 crew battle, so you got to win at least 2 of these in order to secure the win for the week. And again, this is a big matchup for these 2 teams in their groups, trying to stay on top. I believe it's the top 2 make it out of each group here in the Elite League, and I believe that however playoffs end up, being in the top 2 gets you out. So both teams in good position at the moment, but the number 1 seed in a group obviously feels like you've got that little bit easier of a path towards playoffs, towards a championship. So both teams would love to hold on to that spot if they can. So that little bit of pressure here riding on this week. Matt Fab locked in on the King DDD. We'll see where Behrend opts to go with their roster. We've seen a couple of their players in the past. Aries, a player that I think is worth noting, not only from previous performances, but the Incineroar that they have as a sort of playmaker type character. You know, this character, some people pilot very well, others are able to take advantage of it, and maybe they opt to send them in, or maybe they opt to hold Aries back as the anchor. But we've also seen Cray, as the kind of new member of this squad, get more and more starts this season. Unsure of who they play, but the fact that they have joined this roster and been a newer face that is able to make waves and be one of the starting three shows that they have a lot of trust in this player.
I did see the character swap on over to K-Rool just from the main select stream. So we're fighting. What's very interesting is that we're playing the same archetypes from match to match, right? So we had 2 zoners, and now we're having 2 heavies, potentially on the smallest stage that we have, which is Smashville. So that means it's going to be a very hyper-aggressive game. I'm interested to see how this one is going to go, just because I think DDD is just a little bit better at getting combos than K-Rool, just because of the how big the hammer is on DDD's side. I also think Gordo is a little bit of a better projectile at times, but Crown is also very, very good. I'm excited to see where we're going to go here, though, because it seems like we're still thinking. But if I'm a heavy player, I want to get in, I want to get close, and I want to have a smaller stage. So a lot of my hard reads on all of my smash attacks will send my opponent into the blast zone a lot earlier. So it's up to them, but Battlefield's also not a bad idea.
It looks like we'll be trending towards Battlefield now, as the teams are going through their picks and bans at the moment. And yeah, if it's a battle of these 2 heavyweights, the King K. Rool and King DDD, battle of royalty for round number 2, I guess I'm also curious to see what styles these 2 adapt, because Matt Fab on, we mentioned that King DDD is locked in for this set, but he has played Donkey Kong in the past, and Donkey Kong is a bit more of an in-your-face type of character, right? They want to get in, get grab combos, and so on and so forth. So does Matt Fab continue to be that kind of go-in type of style, that a bit more of of impatience, or do we see something else here? It's going to be actually Sizzin locked in for the side of Penn State Behrend on that King K. Rool, like you mentioned. So curious to see how this one pans out, as again, we're back to that scenario of whoever takes this whoever takes the next 3 stocks has the lead and gets to see the final member of the opposing squad.
Yeah, this one's going to be definitely interesting because we're going back to that Smashville point. I do want to see, I think it's really funny how the trend is heavies. So I would love to see the Incineroar, but it is going to be the battle of the heavies. They don't need to drop either or, like you said, Soy. We are kind of going back to that neutral point, and we'll see how this one is going to go. I really want to see who's going to play this matchup a little bit more aggressive, though, just because of certain combos that each character has. But we are on Smashville, so nobody's going to have a kind of place to run and hide here. It's going to be all approaching all the time.
Tons of action headed your way here. Through the early bit, it is Matt Fab taking a little bit of the early damage and getting spiked for it, but the Gordo, I think, actually saves them there from that spike hitbox. They're able to survive, but they have not scratched the Crocodile yet. 94% on the Matt Fab. They do have stage control. The up B actually hits Gordo back here for a moment. Sizzin now gets comboed for a little bit of damage, but Matt Fab is stuck underneath. The down airs galore under that platform. Now the Nair will knock them off stage. There's a Nair to recover from Matt Fab, and a forward tilt to reverse the situation. Another grab landed here, and it is just punch for punch in the first 45 seconds.
Yeah, this is kind of what I expected. A little bit more of an aggressive game, but I have to say that Sizzin is handling this Gordo perfectly. A lot of the times, players struggle around projectiles that come at a weird rate, and all you really have to do with Gordo is just smack it back with any type of hitbox. The dash attack, though, going to come in through right on the ledge, punishing Matt Fab for actually throwing out a hitbox here, but once again, Sizzin now with a little bit more rage is going to play a lot more aggressive here.
Gordo will knock them away for the moment, though. They recover the neutral air to fight through the belly armor coming into play to get them back to stage. Forward air going to knock Matt Fab off stage once more. Can he land? Goes for the back air, gets grabbed instead. Onto the platform they go with that up throw. But still, not nearly enough damage dealt for that move to be anywhere near killing. Maybe another grab here, and another up throw this time around. just forcing MatFab to repeatedly land, and they'll eventually catch them, that time with the dash attack, and all of a sudden it's 3-1 in the stock count, and they are working away at stock number 3 here. MatFab already up to 46%.
Yeah, this is what exactly I was thinking, right? The moment that we get ahead, we can use all of this rage to play a little bit more aggressively here. The Blunder Blast going to send MatFab up, and Sizzin with a very, very disciplined edge guard here, recognizing, you know what, I just need to complete my B&B all over again. There's the up throw, though, not going to chase with an up air, but instead it will be MatFab landing with that back air, taking that first stock here, but Sizzin definitely looking to just send MatFab out of here.
Up smash won't kill from the ground to down throw. Oh, couldn't get the move out in time. Belly armor once again knocking MatFab off stage. They've got to find a way to land. It has been difficult for them all game now. Inhale will knock them away into a forward tilt. Gordo gets really knocked back once more. MatFab now at 154. How long can they survive? The Crown again fighting through low recovery force once again. Sizzin guarding this ledge. Tried to go for a down air, but they get caught by the up air. Won't be able to reverse them either. 184, but they get a grab. Back throw. Sissin's off stage. Low recovery. Gordo won't land. Down tilt will get caught by the grab, and that's going to be a back throw. And with all that rage, MatFab will go down. It's a 2-stock lead for Penn State Behrend.
Yeah, Behrend definitely up extremely well now. Sizzin also gets to keep all of that stock too. 102 is a very high percent, but like we talked about, expert edge guarding, the small stage definitely helping out and getting a lot of these aggressive plays out. Sizzin just on top of all the crown combos, definitely waiting out proper moments, also beating out in the edge or in the projectile game as well, just knowing exactly how to handle Gordo. The combos with Blunder Blast were awesome. So Sizzin going to still have 2 stocks at St. Joseph already on their final player.
And it is interesting, I think, that Sizzin, the way that they were punishing MatFab, I feel like most times King K rules, when they get a grab, they get that down throw and they'll take the easy conversions of things like up tilt or dash attack or a smash attack. But it was Sizzin, the repeated up throws onto that platform, repeatedly forcing MatFab to land in different ways, and MatFab mostly landing with things like last second back air onto a shield actually ended up costing them probably at least 1 stock, maybe even 2 as that series went on. But Sizzin just controlling the stage so well and not allowing King Dedede to land was, I think, an ever-present factor.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, though, now that we're on to the final player, we have a very interesting counterplay or a counter pick advantage going into this, right? King Dedede is a character that can get comboed very easily. The heavy tax that you do pay is that you do have a bigger hitbox. Going to Battlefield, it looks like here, not Princess Peach's castle, but sometimes that stick just drifts a little bit lower. I'm excited to see who St. Joseph's is going to send out here for the counter pick. We do know it is going to be Felp. You did say earlier that they do play Link, I believe, which I think is a great counter pick, especially because of projectiles. We can keep K-Roll out, but Link's aerials are also very strong. That forward air, for example, does a lot of damage very quickly.
Yeah, Felp, I believe a newer face to this roster. XO, the Link player, but still, it's all. Sometimes these names and some of these players too change their tags every so often, so it is very it becomes difficult to keep track of. Either way, Felp, I believe, has been getting more and more time though for the side of St. Joseph's, and we'll see who they opt to send in to deal with the 2 stocks of the King K rule here from Sizzin. And I guess, you know, we go back towards PS2 is what it's looking like. Going to be the Ness locked in here, final member of St. Joseph's. And you still get that heavy combo game onto a big body with Ness, and you can play from a distance with that side B. I guess we'll have to see how good the movement is of this Ness if they can get in on the Crocodile.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with Ness PK Fire, as long as we're able to land it, we're able to do a lot of damage here. But the thing is with Ness is small, and Ness also can get launched off that stage pretty easily here. So this is what Felp is going to do. Try and find a lot of these forward air openings off of the platform, and then try to get as much damage as possible here. But Sizzin doing a really great job of controlling center stage, not pushing the advantage too crazy here, but instead just waiting for Felp to strike first and then punish accordingly.
Very even off the start in terms of percentage, but it is Sizzin now taking a ton of damage, 75%. And these multi-hits too, things like the forward air can do a lot of work. And that actually got clipped there and could not up B in time to get back to that ledge. So Citizen will just fall to their demise. There goes stock number 2 off of their life. And oh my goodness, all the aerials being strung together right now by Felp. They try and catch a panic jump with that up air, but now they get back thrown off stage. Felp having to recover lower with that up B. They're able to float around that down smash too. Citizen wants to be able to use this rage to their advantage, but right now they just cannot seemingly track down this Ness.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit tricky, right? It's just a matter of airspeed at this point, right? Because Ness is always jumping and jumping around you, throwing out a hitbox, whether it be a forward air or a nair here, but it will be the side magnet back air that does send Citizen off 142, so a back throw is definitely online here, but instead it will be the PK Thunder Trail that does stop King K. Rule's up special and recovery, and St. Joseph's doing an amazing job of evening it back up, taking very quick care of Citizen there.
Yeah, very well done, catching him twice on that recovery. That up B, again, from Citizen coming so low to the blast zone, and the up B tracking them down, just not allowing them the time to get out of that hit stun and be able to up B again. And at that point, you're so low to the bottom of the stadium that even in a recovery like King K. Rules, it's got a ton of vertical height to it, but even from there, felt like it would have been a stretch. So either way, well done by Felp to take down 2 stocks without dropping their own. So all of a sudden, it is back to a very even game, which is what we've seen time and time again from these 2 schools. Again, these victories that they get, not a lot of massive victories. In fact, the largest one that Penn State Behrend had was 7-0. But outside of that, it's a lot of 2 stocks, 3 stock advantages. But St. Joseph's, similar story. It's a lot of 3 stock, 2 stock, 1 stocks. The largest victory they had was a 5 stock victory over North Carolina Wesleyan. So it's been very close. And once again, it's going to come down to the final players here. We'll see who Penn State Behrend opts to lock in. We mentioned Aries in the past on the Incineroar as a player who's been around this scene for Penn State. As they could potentially be the anchor for Penn State here for Behrend. But Incineroar into Ness, I don't know, feels like a very double-edged sword type of matchup.
Yeah, it could go either way, but it does seem like we're locking into Joker here. So we are going from projectiles to heavies to nimble and quick characters. Characters that go a little bit quicker, characters that do kind of prioritize that combo game. I'm interested to see how Cray is actually going to be playing this, just because we've seen our Ness's playstyle, Felp, and seeing how aggressive he can be. And I'm wondering if Cray is just trying to meet up with the aggressive playstyle in between. But we are going to Town and City. I don't necessarily love this pick. It's obviously what Cray is going for with these drop off of the ledge back airs with Arsene. They are very strong, but you're also taking Felp to a smaller stage in terms of the side blast zone. So Ness's back throw is also going to be online a little bit sooner. So we'll see how this one is going to go, but it is the last player for both schools, the best way that we want it, all the way tight to the end, and we'll be heading on into this game number 3.
Tied stock count, last member per team here. Who will take themselves to match points for the opening crew battle of week number 5? Here we go. Felp versus Cray. Cray on the Joker, Felp on the Ness. Like you said, the blast zones could be beneficial for really both sides in terms of how these characters like to get kills, but so far, who gets the opening combo? Cray is the one that's got a little bit of damage on board at the moment, 36% on them, so Felp's movement right now on point, but he will be forced away by that forward tilt for the moment. A down tilt underneath. They try and catch the landing with a forward smash there at a very low percent.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with this matchup, I can see already how comfortable Felp is, right? Both of them throwing out their side specials, and it will just be the yo-yo that takes the quick stock off of Cray. Fortunately, not expecting for that to KO so early, and especially on a stage like Town and City, where the blast zones on the side are a little bit smaller. The blast zones up top are definitely a little bit bigger here, but I think Felp is just looking so much more comfortable, especially in this variation of Town and City, where we just have a lot of open room in the center of the stage with no platform on it to really kind of get our combos and run away.
Huge side B on that first stock too, to land it off stage and have it drag down. And make Cray recover low there, but now here on stock number 2 for Cray, once again forced into the rinse repeat of that yo-yo being off stage. Can't track down that forward smash either. Guns will knock Felp away for the moment. They'll be able to make it back to the stage. The down smash won't connect either. Guns knock this Ness away for the moment, but again, it's not leading to a combo. They can't follow up with these neutral Bs. Neutral air will knock Felp away for the moment, but again, the yo-yo has just done so much damage to Cray.
Yeah, and honestly, it looks like Felp is not afraid of our send practically at all. Instead, using the PK Thunder to rocket away so we can reset in neutral fun and fair will just be the back throw. And like we talked about, so in the beginning, Nest plus Rage and that back throw with Cray above 120%, it's just not going to look too good. So now Felp coming in as the preceded anchor, Cray going to be able to fight back. But now you have to fight through 2 very clean stocks to get the win for Behrend.
Gonna have to come up with something here. They got 2 neutral airs off for the moment, but 2 stocks is a lot to ask, it feels like, the way Felp is playing. And they come up with something here. The Guns, again, just intercepting a lot of jumps from Felp, but it is rinse repeat the way that they have been able to interact so far. Down tilt in the back air, so a little bit more chip damage dealt. Maybe they can find something here. Staying in the air very frequently is Cray, and now they catch him. Maybe no jump here as the up B gets caught again. Guns downward will help Cray land, but damage has been dealt pretty significantly. It's about tied in percent, but it is a full stock advantage still for Felp.
I like the idea from Felp there, going for the PK rocket, but unable to find it. It's truly one of the funniest things that Nesses can do here. Felp, though, stacking on a little bit more damage than they'd like to see here, but here comes Cray, finds the Aegon, but can't find the stock. The platforms are going to go away, though. We'll see how Felp recovers. Super clean on these air dodges as well here. Finds the Nair, but doesn't land, unfortunately, though. Still catches with the down smash, finds the back air for St. Joseph's to go up in this set 1-0. Felp barely cracking a sweat here.
Felp with a big performance through that first series, not only taking down Sizzin from the side of Behrend, but also taking down Cray in the process, and that gives St. Joseph's the victory here in our first crew battle of week 5. Still one more, at least one more to go, St. Joseph's, so they can win this next one. They will remain undefeated, but Felp really the MVP of that opening set.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely clean, definitely very polished. That is exactly what you need out of an anchor. Someone who's ready to just go and say, all right, either we're even stocks or we're down X many stocks. Cool, bet, we're good. I'm just going to lock in and just go on ahead. And that's what we saw Felp do, right? But one of the things, though, that I really didn't like about that game 3, stage choice going all the way to Town and City. We saw exactly why. You don't try and go there, though. If Soy, I am Behrend, what do? Do I mix up the order? Do I send in Sizzin first, for example? Or do we kind of keep it to this archetype of like crew battle here where it's really just zoner versus zoner, heavy versus heavy, or aggressive versus aggressive?
Oh, I'm always a fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so I feel like St. Joseph's probably locks in a similar lineup. Behrend, I would change things up here. I know Cray, you felt like they were, starting to get a feel for things maybe late in that set, but it just didn't quite work out. So maybe opt to switch things around and send them in first. See if you can get them matched up against one of these heavier characters like Plasma or MatFab on the Snake or King K. Rool, or maybe even send in Sizzin on the King K. Rool to maybe potentially quickly deal with one of those players. But we'll have to see who they opt to send in for crew battle number 2. They're going to work out those lineups now. Not sure if Troller A has been locked in for the opening set yet, but I believe they have. Either way, again, very close, but at the end of the day, it just felt like, Felp's movement was able to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. It just felt like Felp had every combo down clean. And when you play these aggressive characters, you kind of have to be ready for things like, okay, either I'm going to miss a tech or I'm going to roll to the left, or I'm going to tech roll to the right, and always kind of being ready with the hitbox. Now, Ness also has a lot of forgiving hitboxes as well, right? So side magnet back air, for example, the down special into the back air. It's huge hitbox, and especially on a character like Joker, who's a little bit more skinnier, Felp definitely has pinpoint precision when it comes to landing all of the marks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're sending out Trollery again. I feel like we didn't get enough of Trollery the first time. We saw a lot of just plucking Apple, throwing down Hydrant, and then kind of the rinse repeat. So I'm interested to see who St. Joseph's is going to throw out first.
And also for the side of Behrend, they got to be thinking about that series going, hey, we had 2 players that just kind of essentially SD'd stocks off of funky air dodges by the ledge. They get those 2 stocks back. It's a whole different series potentially in that first round. Trollery was victim to one of those air dodges. So looks like they'll want some redemption here. They do lock in Trollery, I believe, for the opener of round number 2. But as you can see on your screen, it's going to be XO entering the ring for the first time tonight on that link. We mentioned them earlier, but XO, a player that we saw a lot of last season for St. Joseph's or last split, but not as much this split. But still a player that with that experience is going to be interesting to see how they deal with Trollery.
Yeah, this one is going to be very interesting because now it's still the battle of projectiles because Link, of course, the hero of Hyrule, having many tools at his disposal, but we are going to see hopefully a very aggressive zoner playstyle, right? We were talking about Link a little bit earlier, and honestly, I kind of prophesized XO coming in here. Link's sword does a lot of damage, right? So if we're able to find some of these down tilt forward airs, especially off sides of the stage, it's massive, massive damage. So we'll see where exactly we're going to go for game 1. It wouldn't be surprising if we head on back to Pokemon Stadium 2, just because once again it is what I'd like to call a zoner's paradise.
Yeah, and between these 2 characters, like you mentioned, the number of projectiles that are going to be on stage is a lot. I feel like XO, when you think of Link, you think about how they kind of typically control the pace of a game because their projectiles are always out. The boomerangs, the bombs, the arrows are just covering a good majority of the field, or at least covering a good area. But it is also interesting to see how Trollery, they countered that by playing more patient. They gave up space. They put up the hydrant and just sat back and watched the wall, do its work. And then eventually they found their ways in and got damage online really through a lot of, honestly, snipes. It wasn't a lot of combos. It was mostly them saying, I'm going to win this projectile war. So I'm curious to see if they stick with that, knowing that things like the shield for XO could come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see how this one is going to go, though. Link is a personal favorite character of mine just because I think the combos can be so much more creative than just approaching with arrow or approaching with bomb. We will be heading to Pokemon Stadium 2, though. Back to Pac-Man's Hydrant. Pac-Man's Hydrant covers so much space when you really think about it, right? When you launch it essentially forward, it usually flies up, so it can cover somebody's approach in. It can go a little bit slower, can be reflected as well. It's one of the better projectiles in the game, though. But instead, we will be seeing Steve here, the menace of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, as I like to say. And now Pac-Man just going away. And now we got to talk a little bit more about Steve. So what do you think about Steve as a character in this game?
Well, I feel like Steve's got some really, bread and butter combos that can just swing matches very quickly, but there are ways to play around it. We'll have to see if XO can find them. Trollery, so far, building up the wall, starting to get some materials online here, but XO trying to not allow them that much space. They land in a neutral air first. The boomerang somehow not coming out there. Unable to get their combo started. Now Trollery gets an opening to knock XO off stage.
Yeah, Trollery actually playing a lot more aggressive with this character. Now, the thing is with Steve, I think a lot of people for the past couple years that Steve has kind of been a menace to this game have been trying to figure out how to beat Steve. And I think the correct answer is to play a little bit cautiously aggressive, right? Trying to figure out the Steve players' flowcharts, the B&Bs. And so far, XO not doing a bad job at it either. But the thing is, Trollery already having an iron tool, which means our moves are already going to be a little bit stronger. XO, though, trying to figure out a way around the mine cart, the blocks, and still, sometimes just Steve outpaces you just a little bit as we already have Diamond on the field.
I was curious to see if they would pull one of these heavier equipments out early, and they do, and they find a back air that seals away stock number 1, so XO on the back foot, and now it's a pretty substantial lead here, 35% to 0 on the second stock here for XO. They've got to find something to try and bring this back nice and close, but Not going to be easy, although the bomb detonates, they aren't able to cleanly follow up. The setup on that down air is there, but good parry recognition was great there from EXO. The up B to punish. They try and get another grounded up B off, but instead, now they go up high and they're going to get punished for it once more. Good damage landed by Trollery, and everything they get here is just the gravy on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, as well, is that EXO still has to try and chase this KO as well. Still, Trollery having a little bit of tools, has no iron though, so we have to watch out for it. But unfortunately for EXO, going to land right on that pressure plate, going to get blown up on the verge of losing the second stock here. And now Trollery has not come to play games anymore. I actually like the Steve a little bit more than the Pac-Man here. Definitely shows that they're a lot more comfortable on this character, but the Boomerang actually going to beat out the minecart here, and there's that strong forward air. It's not going to be enough though, so EXO has to chase this KO right now here, but good on Trollery to hold strong here, play it a little bit safe off the side.
If they had gotten that second hit of forward air, maybe they find a stock off the back of it, but it got the drag down and that was it. Good job on that down air. EXO getting over top of that cart that has done a lot of damage. And they are able to take a stock off the back of it, although they get caught this time around and followed up with a forward air. That's not going to do the trick quite yet. It has to use the bomb recovery. Trollery tried to track it down, but just could not read the pace that EXO was going to fly back on the stage with. Neutral air will get a little bit of damage online. EXO backing away for the moment, not opting to use that projectile gameplay. They get back thrown off stage for it, and they'll opt to recover low once more.
Yeah, the thing is, what EXO is doing really well is playing a little bit more aerial. But the problem is, when you're playing more aerial, you're throwing yourself into a little bit more of a danger zone. But if I am EXO, I am looking at the material bar. Not too much iron to be working with right now, so that is the go time. But the thing is, though, diamond tools, they get so much damage in such a little amount of time. It's so difficult for EXO to gauge whether they should go in or not. But still, though, trying to find a way in. The hero spin, though, is just going to be knocked out by some of the jabs here. And now EXO on the verge of losing this stock, going for the anvil drop, unable to find anything. So now Trollery can just reset, go mine some more.
And again, so much work for EXO to try and do to bring this one back. 23%, make that 31 as the Boomerang connects. Bomb off stage once more, so they'll have to send that one out to get it back. And now the wall set up. Diamond equipment now online for Trollery. Looking to gain a few more boxes here. They've bought themselves the space, but these blocks are blocking themselves from a chance to move forward. Neutral air will knock Trollery away for the moment. Center stage control to EXO. But Trollery, like you mentioned, the fact that there's not many blocks in their inventory at the moment means that they can't really get as many combos as they would like, but they still have EXO at very high percent. And with that diamond equipment, it wouldn't take much to find this stock.
The thing is, if I'm EXO right now, I need to press the gas and go for it. The last thing I want to do is let Steve mine here. And even if I am going to lose this stock, I want to make sure for my teammate, they only have to take one stock of Steve. And the thing is, St. Joseph's in the lead in lead terms of the set right now, but it will be Behrend that does come in and reestablish their dominance. Trollery up 2 stocks.
Trollery with a 2-stock lead, and I like what you said in the middle of that set where it felt like the Steve just feels a lot cleaner than the Pac-Man, and yeah. I think it's mostly because of the way that Trollery likes to play, between the mixture of being able to get, their one string of combos and then backing away to kind of get the exact setup they want. It feels like the game plan on Steve for them is just a bit more simplified than it is on Pac-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to a character like Steve, you have a lot more forgiving space, right? But what makes a good Steve a great Steve is the fact that you have to be very mindful of your materials at all points, right? A lot of the times people are like, oh, well, I'm a cool Steve. I go in all the time. But the problem is that soon you're going to be fighting without your materials. You can't launch minecart as often as you'd like to. So playing with a little bit more care for your inventory is definitely #1 priority here. But if I'm St. Joseph's, I have to figure out the player who is the most comfortable versus Steve. We are going to be seeing a stage swap to something else. If I'm them, I was about to say either a Hollow Bastion or a Smashville, just for a smaller physical stage so we can fight a little bit more. But honestly, if I'm them, I kind of want to send out the Ness. we saw what our anchor last game was able to do, but instead, no, we are going to switch it up. We are going to bring out the snake here, so it's going to be a little bit more projectile heavy.
Yeah, the snake stepping into the ring here for round number 2. And I am curious to see how this one paces out. We do go, like you said, to Hollow Bastion. And obviously one stock off the board here for Trollery to get things underway. But Plasma did a pretty good job for the most part. Had pretty solid control against Trollery through the opening of round number 1, but ended up dropping that set in particular. So what are the adaptations we see from them, and how do the projectiles of Snake deal with the blocks that Trollery will have set up?
Yeah, this is very interesting because we saw Plasma and Trollery play a little bit earlier, right? We saw it in game number 1 where they were kind of the beginners for their team here. But now instead, Plasma is going to be the one that comes in here. And I like the way now that Trollery now kind of prioritizing the material bar just a little bit more, recognizing that the opportunity is not there, and instead just resetting again. I want to see Plasma approach more with these grenades, though. You need to find a way to get in. Dash attack unable to hit here, so now Trollery going to get a couple of aerials here to stack up some more damage, but especially on Hollow Bastion, we have to watch the high ceilings here, and a little bit of these smaller sides.
Trollery escaping for the moment. We're in the corner. Oh, I love the setup there from Trollery, covering the roll with that grenade, but again, not able to really follow up. Plasma now holding center stage. They get a dash attack, but Trollery will survive this and dips just enough down to grab the ledge. Cart will knock Snake to the other side of the stage, but Plasma gets caught trying to land on the platform. At 102, they find the C4, and it is enough to take that stock off the board. Steve, well, they've got the strong combo game. They are not the heaviest of characters, so they die at, I believe it was just below 100% there. So maybe a window for Plasma to get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. If I am Plasma at this point, I want to push the gas as far as I can, right? 102 on Snake, definitely not the worst position to be in, especially with Snake being a little bit heavier. But I love the way that Plasma's approaching now. Looks so much more comfortable versus the Steve versus the Pac-Man here. But you can tell all of these up smashes. There's the back throw, though, by Trollery. Has to get into position here. But look at the material bar, Soy. We were talking about this a little bit more. No more iron to really work with at this point, so we can't just be slinging mine carts left and right.
It is also very odd here for Trollery as they're at 110 now, looking for another opening, and they run right into the up smash, and Plasma, after falling in round 1, has redemption in round 2, shutting down Trollery.
Yeah, no, this was a great example of just being a lot more comfortable if we're Plasma, right? Really great positioning on all of the grenades, but what it came down to, the fact that Trollery so many times was trying to drop the TNT block, trying to minecart away, and there was no materials to really work with. And that's how you beat Steve. You really kind of put Steve into a position where he doesn't really feel safe mining and kind of going around, and thanks to Hollow Bastion, that's exactly what happened. And Trollery, unfortunately, will fall here, but we are back to being practically even between Behrend and St. Joseph. I'm excited to see who Behrend is going to send out now, because now we're actually getting a little bit of the swaps in terms of the characters here and a little bit of the order as well.
Yeah, Plasma stepping in second into the ring, has all 3 stocks, and we'll get to see the member of Behrend, the second team player for them, as they step into the ring. I believe I saw Joker locked in, which signals to us that Cray is likely entering the ring here for the side of Penn State Behrend. Joker versus Snake, it's a matchup that, I mean, I think we've seen a lot of in the professional scene, but it's been a while, I think, if you go back to the I guess even pre-COVID days.
Yeah, the thing is about Joker, MK Leo did just win King Con yesterday. Big tournament in France. So Joker, Joker is about to hit the Renaissance, if you will. MK Leo playing out of his mind. So I'm excited to see where the Smash Ultimate meta is going, just because I think a lot of the times people write this game off saying, all right, there's no more updates. We're kind of done with it. But top players always seem to find a way to reinvent and kind of invigorate themselves to kind of come back strong. So see what Cray is able to do here. One thing that I liked about Cray a little bit earlier was how aggressive they played, and they need to play a little bit aggressive here because it's kind of the same thing with Plasma and Steve. Don't let Snake set up. You're a little bit happier in that way.
We'll see if Cray is able to do that. Cray, in their matchup, against Felp, the Nest player, Cray was able to, I think, in general, not allow a ton of time to set up, but a lot of their game plan was around jumping and using the guns to intercept the jumps that Felp was putting out there. Plasma on Snake, not going to be as jumpy, a taller hitbox for sure, but I think I'm curious to see how Cray opts to deal with that. Do they go back to that same neutral B heavy style, or maybe do they go a bit more rush down and just not allow these grenades to get pulled time and time again?
I think it's so interesting that we're bringing Snake to a bigger stage like Kalos. The thing is, though, we're giving Snake tons of space to set up here, but I like what Cray is thinking of with the open center, right? We want these drag downs as Joker. We want all these specific combos here. And honestly, I just want to see Plasma do what they're doing now, which is take the grenade and still approach while it's in hand. It will be an active hitbox even while you're in shield. So honestly, good on Cray for respecting that and kind of playing the bob and weave play style with Joker.
Ooh, got the first hit there. And that's another factor too, with all these grenades lingering around. Cray can use that Rebels Guard and build up that meter to get Arsene online more frequently. They do get intercepted by that grenade, and that's a massive chunk of the meter gone by thanks to one explosion, but forward tilt will knock Plasma away for the moment. Plasma bought themselves some time on this platform and will continue to chuck away. But again, Rebels Guard landed. Means Arsene will come online even earlier. Can they find a way to catch this landing? Not quite yet. Plasma was pretty good about making sure that if a player goes in for some damage, there's usually a projectile of some sort waiting, but they will find an up air underneath there. It's Cray to strike first.
Yeah, really great positioning by Cray as well. Very good aggression. You can see why we're on this stage. We're trying to kind of bait Snake into landing onto some of these platforms so we can punish accordingly with the Arsene here. Now, Plasma has to keep the keep away game, but I will say Behrend's gun game with Joker is so good right now, and now Cray going to be stuck on the ledge just a little bit, but this up smash is only going to hit the platform. It's actually not going to land on him, but Plasma making the very necessary adjustments, which is, hey, I'm noticing that you're Rebels guarding a lot. Let me just wait it out because there is tons of end lag on that move.
Very, very smart there by Plasma, and they get a stock for it. So back to a tie game and back to practically dead even percents, 53 to 57. Cray fighting over center stage, but dash attack will clip underneath, lingering around, throwing these grenades back towards the platform, and that's going to be an up smash. Can they follow up off the back of it? No, not this time around. Arsene gone. Try to get the up B. They will be able to land it the second time around, but instead, the aerials don't land. They get grabbed and up tilted for it, and now both players into the red.
Beautiful wait by Plasma. Both interactions just waiting for Cray to strike first. A lot of the times you have to be more of a reactive player this late into the game than you have to be a proactive player. And that's exactly what Plasma is doing. Waiting for Cray to make the first hit and then reacting accordingly with grabs, with grenades, with up tilts, etc. Plasma needs to hold on to this stock though if we want a more massive lead here. But Cray going to have Arsene very, very soon, aka right now. But look at Plasma cannot get launched up just yet. And now we'll be able to actually hold a little bit of this ledge here.
They've been a little bit greedy going for that up smash, but he does get punished for it accordingly. Arsene also about to disappear here now. 91%. Trade happens, and it goes in Behrend's favor. Another stock off the board here. Plasma down to their last one, but it's Cray at 102 right now. Grenade combo there for a moment. Could have been fancy, but instead, Plasma's able to escape. 32% on this Snake right now and control a center stage. Cray has to come up with something real tricky to pull this one back.
This is exactly what I was afraid of, taking Snake to a stage like Kalos Pokemon League, just because there's so much open space that Snake can occupy, but it will be the up tilt catch onto the Joker Nair that does send St. Joseph's back into the lead here, as now St. Joseph's going to have 4 stocks left compared to Behrend's just 3. And we'll see if our friend King K. Rool can come back in for the win this time.
Very close one there. Cray able to at least get it down to 1 stock apiece, so only a 1 stock differential, although Behrend will have to lock in their third and final player here for crew battle number 2. I'm actually shocked the neutral air didn't quite connect there, and Plasma was able to get that up tilt through, but either way, it is Plasma who comes out on top, and like you mentioned, I think the larger stage ended up benefiting them overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to stages with zoners, you have to accept that zoners love to just get set up and they love to run away and they love to pluck their win conditions, whether that be a minecart or a grenade. So I don't think Kalos was the best choice. I understand why it's the choice, right? You get a little bit more comfortable, but sometimes your comfort picks are actually benefiting your opponent. Now I do see Ares stepping in for the first time today onto this Wario here, and Wario is definitely going to be a very interesting pick. I think Wario is one of those like character specialist characters. So fun. Of course, you're always looking for that waft. You're always looking for just the hype combos of it all, but you can stack on a lot of damage onto a character that may be running away with just one grab.
And it's been a long time since I've seen Wario at the collegiate level, too, so curious to see how Ares pilots them. But they do only have to take one stock off the board here to tie things up. The question is, can Plasma extend the lead for St. Joseph's? And a big step here for both these schools. We've mentioned it. These are two undefeated schools, but St. Joseph's has not dropped a set so far this split. They've gone 2-0 in all of their weekly matchups. Can they hold on to that here and remain undefeated? It's up to Ares to see if they can change that. We go to Hollow Bastion here for this game. Plasma will have to drop these opening two stocks, but how does Wario get in through the really minefield of grenades that Plasma's going to have set up?
This one's going to be interesting because we are on a smaller stage, so we'll see if my theory proves true here. Ares, though, only needs to take one stock to get ahead here, so I like the way that he's playing aggressive. These landing up airs are doing him so much of a good favor here, but look at the way that he's also using forward air to keep Snake off the side here. Now, still, Plasma going to be able to get a back throw into grenade combo here, and even if Plasma is able to get one stock off, this is a huge advantage going into the final player, but already Ares showing that aggressive is the way that you beat these zoners. By these dash attacks, by these F-tilts, not letting Snake land comfortably is the name of the game.
Good parry there into a forward tilt. And now things get a little bit scary for Ares here at 84%. Plasma certainly not lacking any kill power on this character. The bike won't be able to get in, and actually getting stuck on the platform will end up leading to their demise. So stock number one off the board there. Plasma, one stock here, 142. How do they land? They end up drifting back towards the ledge. Dash attack won't do the trick. Forward thrown off stage, and they get the spike off the back of it. Plasma on a tear in set two.
Oh my goodness, the way that Plasma was able to just get the conversion off of the forward air, off of the wrong DI coming out from Ares. Now, granted, it will just be a down smash there that does take it, but now Ares has to essentially reverse 3-0 his next opponent here. Cannot be too happy about how Behrend is all the way down to not only the last player, but even the last stock. Amazing conversions from Plasma, always ready to go, and that's the thing with a lot of these characters. And since this game has been out for a long time, you've been able to go in and lab all of these combos. Amazing stuff from Plasma. Definitely the MVP right now, but we shall see who St. Joseph's last player is, because it seems like we've had some roster swaps.
And we'll have to see if St. Joseph's opts to send in the nest that was the anchor last time, or maybe they go elsewhere. But it was really, I gotta say, that the first time we really see an edge guard attempt is also the only time that it lands. Plasma, that forward air was everything to give them a 2-stock lead headed into this kind of final round of this crew battle here. So what a performance from Plasma in round two. And that's the marquee of a solid team, is that you've got not just got one player who can take over a game, but you've also got the depth surrounding them. If Felp is the star of the show from that first set, you've also got Plasma, who now has this ability to pop off, and that's been part of the reason St. Joseph's has had such success this split.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are looking real good if you're St. Joseph's, right? You have one player to just take out 3 stocks. Now, we were talking about the Nest player before. I think the Nest player coming in is a perfectly fine pick, just because we talked about it in game number 1. Combo heavy character, Wario is a circular hitbox. Not many things that he could squeeze out of, and we'll see how this one is going to go, as Ares now is kind of the David and Goliath situation. Can you take 3 stocks with just one?
Okay, so we get to see if Ares can bring things back. The other thing, too, about Ares being on one stock. You know, Wario, one of the main ways they kill is that waft, that down B. It comes online rather late into matchups, and so the longer this game goes, the more it benefits Ares, but the fact that they only have one stock means it may not last all that long, but they've got to come up with something here against Felt. The Ness putting in a good amount of work already up to 86%. They try and catch a landing or a weak air dodge towards the center of the stage. The falling up air doing so much, and Up B is just going to do it outright, and Felp ends things quickly, and the St. Joseph Hawks will remain undefeated.
Yo, that was crazy. Yo, bro was like, yo, I got homework, bro. I gotta hurry this up, man. Oh my god. Definitely wasn't expecting the PK Thunder off the top. Definitely was not expecting that much gas to be put pedal to metal at that point. Felp coming in, one stock, all he needs, and that is going to be St. Joseph's taking it over Behrend 2-0. Clap, clap. You know, nice and easy, but honestly, it was a hard fought all the way through game 1, but then game 2, St. Joseph's just decided to, you know, push ahead just by a little bit, and then it was Felp, the Nest coming through at the end, just saying, you know what, I got it. Guys, don't worry about it.
A massive win for St. Joseph's, and Plasma, I think, the MVP of that second set, like we mentioned, but Felp certainly establishing themselves as a big name to watch as the season goes along. What a series this was, a 2-0 sweep, and unfortunately we do not have an interview with the victor this time around. So Lyric, any kind of final thoughts to help wrap up the night?
Collegiate Smash is awesome. I really love the way that it brings everybody together in a team setting to just play some video games with some, you know, teammates and honestly some found friends. So it's always such a pleasure to kind of watch, and Soy, it was a pleasure casting with you tonight.
You as well, and thank you all for watching. Again, this was ECAC Elite Series. There's more SSBU next week. There's also tomorrow for more ECAC action, Valorant at 8 p.m. and then Overwatch, the Midwest, I believe, or Mountain West, excuse me, at 8 p.m. as well. So be sure to tune in for those matchups as well. Once again, from Lyric, my name is Soy, and thank you all so much for watching the ECAC SSBU series.